Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Let's Draw with BJ Dell. I'm your host, BJ Dell. This is your first time tuning in. I appreciate you watching. So today's video is going to be something totally different than what I usually do on the channel. And to be honest with you, it's a video that I said I was not going to do and I did not want to do, but here we are nonetheless. So to start things out, I started a video series last year on YouTube talking about how to make money with your art online. And for some reason, the past few days, one of those videos has been blowing up. It's been all about how to make money with your artwork by turning it into coloring books that you can sell on Amazon using their KDP platform. So I think YouTube's been promoting it over on the suggested videos on the side. That's why it's getting more views. But with more views means more comments. And there's one comment in particular that keeps popping up over and over again. It's from people that want to start this, but before they do, they want to know how much money can they make, or more importantly, how much money do you make? So that's kind of been the elephant in the room I have not addressed, and there's been a couple of reasons for that. So number one, I was taught that you're not supposed to talk about how much money you make. It's a private matter. It's not good manners to talk about it in public. It's not something to bring up in conversation. So that's number one. Number two, the other reason why I did not want to do this video and didn't plan on it is because I'm kind of worried I don't want this video to come off like I'm bragging or showing off. So there's a lot of Facebook groups based around the platforms that I use to sell my art on. And to be honest with you, there's a ton of people on there that share their numbers that are blowing away anything that I'm doing right now. And honestly, if they watch this video and they laugh and say, I'm making 4 times, 5 times, 10 times what you're making, I really don't care. That doesn't bother me. The people that I'm worried about and the people that I don't want to turn off is I don't want those people that are making less to think that I'm bragging or I'm boasting. That's not my intent at all. With this video, honestly, it's hopefully going to inspire some people to try something else, to think outside of the box with making money with their artwork, and to answer some more questions. So I also run a group on Facebook called Keep Creating, the Learn, Draw, Share Art community, which I will link in the description below. If you guys have not joined yet, hop on over and join. But we do a weekly art challenge in there every week, and last week's prompt was New Year's resolution. So it seems like in 2020, a lot of the members of the group want to take their passion for art and turn it into a way that they can make money. Some people talking about wanting to turn art into a full-time career. Some people just wanting to do it as a side hustle, take on some clients and some commissions for some extra cash. So knowing there's people out there that are looking at 2020 as the year where they start making money from their art, and also knowing there's people on YouTube that are asking that question, I really thought it was a disservice not sharing the information that I have. So that's the reason behind today's video. Hopefully this will answer your questions. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what I made for my artwork last month in December of 2019 on the different platforms that I use. First one up is MBA, or Merch by Amazon. That's Amazon's print-on-demand platform where you can make t-shirts, sweatshirts, pop sockets. Second one's going to be KDP, that Kindle Direct Publishing that we talked about with the coloring book video. Third one is going to be Gumroad, where I offer digital downloads. Fourth one is going to be YouTube. Fifth one is going to be Patreon. And then the sixth and final one is going to be Amazon affiliates, which isn't really art related, but it is tied into my art website as well as my YouTube channel. So I thought I would add that one in there as well. Last but not least, I want to let you know this video is not going to cut to a shot of me standing poolside next to a Lamborghini. This is not one of those infomercials. I'm not selling a course or a book. There's nothing that I'm selling. There's nothing to buy. I just want to share the information that I have available, hoping that you will find it informative and maybe I can inspire you along the way. So if you want to learn all about that and more, keep watching. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Like I mentioned at the beginning, anybody that's familiar with the e-commerce world will know these numbers from December 2019 are going to be a little higher than normal. December is part of Q4 or quarter 4, and that's the busiest shopping time of the year. So numbers are usually higher in December. So that being said, some of the numbers were actually lower than what I expected, just based on trends, and we'll kind of go over that here in a second. But I started this pages sheet here to kind of keep track of everything. Some things to note here. Number one, like I said, multiple streams of income. That's very important if you are thinking of, branching out and doing art as a full-time career. I would definitely recommend you have multiple streams of income to fall back on. A lot of people will just focus on one platform. Let's say that they go all in on Merch by Amazon. What's going to happen if Merch decides, or Amazon decides, to kill the Merch platform? What happens if your account gets terminated? There's so many different things that can happen, and it goes back to the old adage of not putting all of your eggs in one basket. And that's one of the key things that I would tell you guys to do if you are looking to do art as a career. Definitely do not rely on one source of income. One thing you'll notice here too is I do not have any client work in here. I do not have any commissions in here. And that's because I've totally killed those out of my schedule, killed those out of my workflow. I don't take clients and I don't take commissions anymore. The reason behind that, I find it a lot more lucrative to be able to just do stuff for yourself. If you do a client piece and send it off, you can't resell that. And I find the use of my time making a design is a lot smarter to be able to do that and sell it over and over again, whether it be a piece of clip art that I sell as a digital asset, or if I sell it on products. Doing that work one time, but then being able to resell it over and over again is just a smart use of your time, and it's something that I really recommend. So if you want to do client work, I understand starting out, it's kind of making that feeling of success and that people want your work, and I know that's exciting. But at the same time, for me, I found this to be a lot more financially rewarding. If you do client work, I do suggest you always have something else going on at the same time. You'll have some of those times where you have a drought, clients aren't coming in, and you definitely need something to fall back on. So definitely look at some of these other options. So like I said, Merch by Amazon, KDP, Gumroad, YouTube, Patreon, and Amazon affiliate. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull up Chrome here, and I've already got everything preloaded to save some time. And obviously too, I don't want to, show my login credentials on a lot of these. So let's pull over to December in this for Merch by Amazon. Once again, this is Amazon's print-on-demand platform, and you'll see here in December I made $3,947.28 for merch, and that's on the US marketplace. And on the European marketplace I made $79.46. Nothing on the Germany marketplace. So that's what I made in December from merch. Once again, with merch, this is print on demand. There's no overhead with this. So all these figures that I'm going to give you, I don't carry any inventory. So what I make is what I make. That's it. These are the actual royalties that I get. So you'll see this year, like I said, $39.47. Last year I made $31.49. So about an $800 increase. And that's where I'm talking about that I really expected to make more. Let's kick over here to November, and you can see November this year, I made $2,215. Last year, I made $901. So about a 2.5 time increase. Kind of expected to see that in December as well, but it was only $800. So I really thought, probably do around 7,000. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, competition's getting crazy on merch. A lot of people are getting into it. Number two, I didn't do any advertising at all in December on merch. I tried some last year, but honestly, I just really didn't think that it was worth the outcome that I got and the results that I saw. So you'll see that's kind of disappointing, just an $800 increase. The reason too with that is merch works on a tier system. So you start out at tier 10. Once you sell 10 designs, they tier you up to tier 25, meaning you can only have 10 designs live at once. Once you go to tier 25, you have 25 designs live. You have to hit that tier as sales, and then you also have to have 80% of your slots filled. So, this time versus last year, I've probably got about 5 times more products. So, a 2.5 time having 5 times more products is not really that great. And just doing it, $800 more is pretty terrible when you consider that I've got 5 times more products available. Right now, I'm on the 8,000 tier. Eligible for another tier up, and I've got another one coming after that, but I just do not have my slots filled. I've only got over 5,000 slots. I've really kind of slacked on merch over the past 6 months, really focusing more on YouTube, playing kind of the long game with YouTube. And I think that's why too, you see that these didn't really increase a whole lot. You'll see even November is pretty bad. I did more back in August and July than I did in November, and that's just really horrible with November being part of Q4 as well. So anyways, let's add this into our calculator. 39.47.28. So 39.47.28. Add that in, and then I've got the conversion here pulled up because, like I said, the European 79.46 is in pounds, so 103.94 is the conversion on that. So let's add that in. 103.94. So overall in December I made $4,051.22 on merch. Like I said, that's horrible. I really thought I was going to clear at least 7,000 or 8,000 on there just because of the trend that I was seeing. And there's like I said, a few different reasons why that possibly could have happened. So let's go back to here, and we'll go over to KDP now. So once again, this is Kindle Direct Publishing. I've got last month pulled up, which is December 1st through the 31st. So these are books that are coloring books. I've also got that 365 days of drawing prompt sketchbook from the Keep Creating line that I advertise on the channel. That's part of this, as well as some journals. But coloring books and the sketchbook are the main makeup of this. And you can see I did $5,483.99 in December. That was for the month of December. So let's add that in. $483.99. Now the key to merch and KDP, if you guys are new to either platform, is really kind of knowing your customers. You can't just throw up any old thing on there. You really kind of need to niche down and design stuff for a particular customer in mind. There's a lot of research that goes into putting stuff up on not only merch, but also KDP. And a lot of people will just throw stuff up and expect it to sell. Amazon is a huge marketplace, and that's really not how it works unless you do some major marketing on your own. If you have, a massive following online that you can direct people to. A lot of the stuff that I have up on both, I don't advertise on any of my platforms. A lot of it I just like to keep under random brand names. It's not under my name at all. So it really comes into knowing your customer, knowing who you're designing stuff for, and finding a specific need to fill. Like I said, you cannot just design something and throw it up and expect it to sell just because it looks cool. It's really got to be attractive to a certain type of customer. And that's one of the things that we'll talk about probably down the line in later videos. So that's it for KDP. Let's go to Gumroad next. Once again, Gumroad is where I sell digital products, digital downloads, digital assets. So with this, my brush pack is on here, as well as some of my clip art packs. I do single clip art as well as packages of them. And this also has free downloads on it. I've got some templates on there that are free of charge. So this 437 and the number of sales, a lot of those are going to be free ones, which don't factor obviously into this. With Gumroad though, 1665, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not like KDP. It's not like merch. Like I said, these royalties, that's what you get. Gumroad does take a cutout since they're processing payments. If you just have the basic Gumroad, I think it's 8.5% is their cut, plus 30% or 30 cents per transaction. Or you can pay for the pro version of Gumroad, which I do because that 8.5% goes down to 3.5%. So with that, it's 3.5% plus 30 cents per paid transaction. Like I said, since this has a lot of free ones in here, there's not really an easy way to figure this up really quickly for this video. So instead of doing 3.5%, I'm going to skew it on the high side, and I'm just going to pull out 7% to make this easier to figure out. So 1665 and 7% taken out. So that leaves us with 1,500. Oops. Come on. Now everything's all messed up. All right, so that's going to leave us with $1,548.45. So that's Gumroad. Once again, with Gumroad, definitely look for those different revenue streams that you guys can add. With this, like I said, selling digital content's awesome. There's no overhead as far as, stocking inventory. It's all digital. There's no delivery, no shipping. That's kind of the same way it is with, Merch by Amazon and KDP as well. You don't have to handle any of the shipping. They do all of that. But this is even easier because it's just all digital downloads that the customer can receive immediately. So think about different ways that you can offer digital products. If you do, like I said, clip art is a great idea. There's just so many different avenues that you can do as an artist to make money. And that's really what I want to kind of challenge you guys to do, is look at the different options that you have that are out there. So next up, we're going to go to YouTube. Like I said, I've kind of been slacking this year on merch, done a little bit more with KDP. Gumroad's been okay, but really my focus over this past year has been YouTube. I've put a ton of time into YouTube. I've tried to grow the channel as well as the Keep Creating group on Facebook, which kind of go hand in hand. And the reason why is a couple years ago, I started a teaching job at a local studio here in town, teaching graphic design and illustration. And I just really found a love for teaching, and, being able to kind of share my knowledge on YouTube has just been really rewarding, and I love doing it, and I really want to grow the channel more. I see YouTube as being kind of what you call a long play, to where you're not going to make a ton off of it, right at the beginning. It's more for the reward of helping people out. So that being said, when we go into YouTube, you'll see so far out of these 4, YouTube is actually the lowest out of all these 4 as far as income goes. But yet it's the one I've spent the most time over the past year on. So the dates right here shows you December 1st through the 31st, 2019. And in the month of December, I made $1,459.51 on YouTube. So like I said, so far, that is the absolute lowest out of everything, but it's what I've put the most time into. So $1,459.51. All right, so from there, let's go back and let's go to Patreon. So I started Patreon just as like another avenue to offer some extra videos that weren't available on YouTube. Patreon I haven't done a lot with as far as getting people over there. It hasn't really been successful. You can see here that in the month of December, 341, you'll see January's nothing. That's actually because a lot of people don't know this, except that are on the Patreon channel and back me on there, is I actually decided to end Patreon. December was the last month of doing Patreon. So in January, that's 0 because Patreon kind of ended in December. And that is why it's 0 for January. This past year, trying to do merch, trying to do KDP, making stuff for Gumroad, and then doing some of the other things I do on the side. And once again, I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning. You'll see the revenue streams that I have. Those are all art related. That's why I'm including them with this video. But I do other stuff besides that too, for additional revenue streams that aren't included in there. So trying to juggle everything all at once. It's really hard, and Patreon was one of those ones that was taking up, a lot of time, and something had to go. And unfortunately, I made the decision that Patreon was the thing to end at the end of the year. It was kind of a New Year's resolution to get a better balance back in 2020. And unfortunately, Patreon was one that went. But in December, I made $393 with the payment processing fees and platform fees. The end result was $341.60. So let's go ahead and add that in now. $341.60. And then finally, Amazon affiliate. So like I said, this one, not really art related, but I do put affiliate links on the YouTube channel. And then it also pops up, of course, on my website, which are both art related. So I do kind of consider that it's tied in. And you'll see here for the month of December 1st through December 31st, I made $126.13 from the Amazon affiliate. So not huge, not anything crazy. And this is a lot more than usual, just because with it being December and people were shopping, it's a little bit higher than usual. But it still, like I said, kind of ties into art. So we'll put that in, $126.13. Okay, and then we're going to add these up, but one thing I want to stress, number one, like I talked about earlier, these are actually what I'm making. There's no inventory, there's no, extra fees. The only fees that were taken out, Gumroad, I took those out, and you can see on Patreon, those were already taken out from that amount that I put in there. So this is actually what I receive. But the thing that you have to remember with this is you have to report your income as far as taxes go. All these platforms, they do send out a 1099 at the end of the year. So the tax responsibility lies on you. So if you are looking at being kind of a self-employed artist, if you're going freelance, if you're doing this kind of work, and of course, client work or commission work, you got to keep track of that too. But you definitely kind of have to have a discipline about you. You've got to save back money to pay in at the end of the year for taxes. taxes, and that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with. So even though you see this amount here, I've still got to pay taxes out of it, so it's not going completely into my pocket. So let's go ahead and add these up and see what we're left with here. I'm going to switch over to the keyboard. It's a lot easier. So we've got 4,051.22 and 54.83, 99, 15, 48, 45, 15, 59, 51. Like I said, the multiple streams of income is a really smart thing to do. But like I said, too, the other streams of income that I have that aren't art related, just because what if, something happens to where I get into an accident and I break my dominant hand, my drawing hand, if I'm relying completely on art, I can't create anything new. That's one thing that's nice with some of these platforms. It is kind of a residual, like perpetual income, but at the same time, you always want to create more. So having other income streams that don't rely on art is important too, I think, just because that what if factor. So consider that as well. And then let's go ahead and total this out. So for the month of December, then we ended up with $13,010.90 for the month of December. Like I said, with some of this, I thought it was going to be a little bit higher because of merch. I thought I would do more off of that, but definitely shows too you get out of the platform the work you put in, and with not really doing anything with it towards the end of the year, I kind of shot myself in the foot with that. But like I said, I was focusing on other things, and I wanted to make sure I had these other streams in order as well. YouTube being the main one that I wanted to focus on. So we'll see where that goes. But that's it then. $13,010.90 from these 6 different streams of income using my art. So hopefully you guys found this informative. Like I said too, a lot of people did a ton more than this just on merch. I know there's certain people on KDP that do this, or actually more. I know somebody did 18,000, I think, last December just on KDP. So there's definitely room for improvement here. I always kind of like to see how well I can do, really push myself to do more. But like I said, YouTube right now is kind of where I want to focus my time, and the reward of helping other people really kind of outweighs, trying to do the rest of this to make more money and more money and more money. But hopefully this helps you guys. Hopefully it inspires you. Like I said, this is what I wanted to do this video for. If, this amount is something that could definitely, help you out, could change your life, could help you leave your job, could help you start a new job just doing this. Keep in mind, I've had to build this up over a couple years. This was not something that you're going to do overnight by any means. So it's going to take a lot of hard work. You're only going to get out of it what you put into it. So there is a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this. The hours that I've spent building my merch to this up to that point is kind of crazy. Same thing with KDP, a lot of long hours there. And of course, YouTube has been so many hours, I've lost count. But hopefully this gives you guys hope, opens your eyes to some other revenue streams that you can make from your art. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. You can follow me online on Instagram and Twitter at BJDell, as well as on my website if you want to check me out there, bjdell.com. And feel free to leave a comment here. Let me know what you guys have planned for 2020. Are you going to use any of this information and try to make a change, try to make some money with your art? Let me know. So until next time, keep creating.